Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-October 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Libra. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you this month. And if you haven't done so already, please do like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content when you subscribe. But with that being said, Libra, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. This first column is what's wrapping up and coming to a close the last few weeks or month. Column number 2 is just general, what's coming for the remainder of October. We're also going to do a money column, a love column, and in the fifth and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note for you. But again, going back to column number 1, what's wrapping up and coming to a close, we have a summary card of patterns. I like the patterns card. This is all about getting rid of patterns and habits that are not serving us well, Libra, and recreating new healthy habits and patterns that serve us much better. So likely you've had some sort of change to your routine, and again, a change for the better in these last few weeks or month. But let's go ahead and take a look here and see what messages we have for you. The first card we have is the Empress. I really like the Empress, and I like it anywhere where it comes up in the readings. The Empress is a card of creation, a card of abundance. And this is the ability to create abundance for yourself as well. I would venture to say that potentially this pattern year change could be leading to more abundance, leading to the ability to create as well. So this pattern change really did set you up for success. This can also be a card of fertility and pregnancy, so some of you could be finding out that you are pregnant or having grandchildren. The next card that we have is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is very much so a love card. It's romantic love, partnership, proposal, marriage. So definitely could be a new relationship or an advancement of relationship. I like to point out sometimes this could be with a family member or a friend or even a pet, or this could be a business relationship as well. It's not always love interest, although it is typically a love-focused card. The next card that we have is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of waiting or delayed success. So you see this person planted their pentacles and now they're waiting for them to grow. I'm not sure exactly what this is for you, Libra, but it does seem like there's something we're waiting on these last few weeks. But let's go ahead and clarify out this column and see what other messages we have. The first card that we have is the Judgment card. The Judgment card is one of those cards that will always be favorable for you, Libra. With the Judgment card, this is a card of clarity. It's a card of making a final decision. I do feel like in the last few weeks you've gotten some clarity. Clarity on a habit that you wanted to change, a habit that we wanted to start creating. It's also clarity, I think, on what you want to create and what abundance you want in your life. So a nice pairing there. The next card that we have is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a very curious card. It's a gossipy card. It could be truth coming out as well. There might have been somebody that you didn't want to be friends with because you didn't know the truth about it. Or like, what I'm seeing too for some of you that are in a new relationship, like maybe you've been talking about how you like this person and they've been talking about how you like them, but like paths just never crossed until somebody connected you. So like kind of swirling of information in that matter. But definitely some truth or new information, it seems like, in the last few weeks related to this relationship. And at the bottom here we have the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card in the Major Arcana. It's a card of fresh hope, taking chances, new paths, beginnings, adventures. Definitely the case for the relationship. And again, for some of you, I feel like you could have been waiting for a while. Like maybe you both liked each other, but nobody was saying anything. Or maybe you didn't know the full story about a person and you didn't want to be their friend because of it. But this is a wonderful new beginning. Now, Let's go ahead and take a look at our next column, Libra, which is anything related to just kind of the remainder of the month, so the next few weeks. We have the card Time. Time's an interesting card, and in general, when I see this card, the message that I have here is it is time to take action. It is time to do something potentially that you've been putting off, something you've been wanting to do. Now is the time. But let's see what messages come through here. The first card that we have is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card of speed, action, quick change. It could also be information coming in or news as well. This could be social media related to the Eight of Wands. Is a social media type card. But in general, again, now is the time. Again, this is speed, action, change. This should be you taking prompt action on something here. The next card that we have is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is very resourceful. This is also a card of fertility, and it's very domestic. So again, there could be pregnancy news here, grandparent news that you're expecting, or potentially entering into a new relationship. But in terms of going back to time and the time to do something, this could also tie back into patterns and habits as well, because the Queen of Pentacles is about being resourceful with your resources. So maybe you've been working 50 hours a week and it's time that you make the change that you're not working that much. Or maybe you've been spending way too much on Amazon every day and now is the time to stop spending on Amazon. That kind of energy. But being better resourceful with those resources that you have. At the bottom here, we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of stress, exhaustion, having too many burdens. This is a card of being overwhelmed. This is a card of being very busy. You see this person is carrying all of these wands and they're like hunched over crying into the wands because it's overwhelming. So now could be the time to put down some baggage. Now could be the time to stop overcommitting. Now could be the time to rest and take a vacation. But now is a time to take action. We want to stay away from this type of energy as much as possible. So the things that you can do to prevent yourself from getting to that point of stress or exhaustion is always super important. Okay, let's clarify this column and see what else we've got going on here, Libra. The first card that we have is the World card. The World card is a card of completion. It's completing a goal, completing a lesson, and it marks an ending. It's the last card of the major arcana. So again, this is time to make a change. This is time to complete what we're doing and pick up something new. It's time to make that action or that change. The next card that we have is the Four of Wands. If you take a look at the Four of Wands, it almost looks like a finish line here. So this also is a card of completion, and with completion is something new, making that change. This could be a card, though, of celebration as well. So we could be celebrating the saving of resources, or celebrating the relationship, or celebrating the fertility. This is also a card of family, friends, reunion. So there could be some support in this change, or in taking this action. There could be somebody that's kind of helping push forward the motion. At the bottom here, we have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a card of having to make a decision. And again, we have to make the decision. Now is the time to make the decision. We had to make the decision to make changes that take us away from this point of exhaustion with the Ten of Wands. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, really anything you associate with money, Libra. The first card that we have is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of rivalry, obstacle, challenges. It's like some sort of small conflict that's happening, or obstacles or challenges. The nice thing about this card is it typically is more minor, given the fact that they're fighting with wands versus fighting with swords. It's not as serious. So again, it's kind of like the small bumps in the road that are coming up. The next card that we have is the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is very patient, but this does typically indicate a new job, raise, or some sort of money news. So I love to see that. It seems like there is a new opportunity or new money coming your way, Libra. And at the bottom here, we have the Ace of Swords. Anytime we have an ace card, it is a card of newness, and this is mental clarity. So you're going to be getting some sort of new information this month, potentially information on this new job or this conflict that we're having. But let's see. Let's clarify here what we've got going on. The first clarifier we have is the Tower. The Tower is a card of unwanted change. It's things not playing out the way we wanted it to. And honestly, this makes sense. I don't think you wanted this conflict. I don't think you wanted this issue, but it did happen that way. The nice thing about the Tower card, though, is that this is still going to lead to a positive outcome. The Tower is always going to take you where you need to go. So it's interesting, but it's like this conflict or this rivalry or this challenge had to happen because the redirection needed to happen. But again, this is kind of saying like, oh, you weren't really hoping for this conflict, but it is going to resolve and it's going to take you to that point. It's that point of redirection that we needed. The next card that we have is the Emperor. The Emperor is a card of leadership, strategic planning. It's very long term. I do think a lot of you could be moving into a leadership role with that Page of Pentacles and the Emperor combination. And it feels stable long term, like we're going to move into this role and stay in this role for a while. The money is here to stay, Libra. The next card that we have is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is another leadership card. So definitely a lot of leadership energy coming into play here. And the traits of the King of Cups is very supportive and tolerant, empathetic. And this new information that you're finding out is going to give you the ability to be those things. Not that you aren't those things already, Libra, but it's going to increase your supportiveness or increase your tolerance or increase your empathy once we find out whatever this news is with the Ace of Swords. Now moving on to our next column, which is anything related to love. Think family, friends, relationship, children, marriage, whatever you associate with love, Libra. At the top here, we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of loss, regret, grief. It does feel like there's some relationship you're still grieving, Libra, and you could be in a happy, healthy, perfectly fine relationship now. You could be single, but it does appear that there's still a relationship that we're grieving at this time. The next card that we have is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a very confident and very self-assured person. What I'm getting is this month, or I guess the last few weeks of this month, you may get less reassurance than you would prefer or expect. So it's really important that we have the ability to be self-confident and be self-assuring. It seems like it'll be more important the next few weeks than typically it is. Not to say that you're not going to be getting reassured in other places, but the reassurance really needs to come from yourself. At the bottom here, we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is mastering your craft, enjoying your employment. You need to work to enjoy your situation. I know that's a weird message, but like if you are single and want to be single, you need to look to further find enjoyment in that scenario. Or if you're in a relationship, things could be kind of stagnant and not a lot happening. So looking to find enjoyment in whatever your relationship status is. And that's not to say the enjoyment's not there now, but it's like looking to find happiness in your current state. Let's go ahead and clarify this column and see what other messages we have here. The first card that we have is the Ace of Wands. Anytime we have an ace card, it is a card of newness. The Ace of Wands is new project, inspiration, urge to create. I do feel like you need to spice things up a little bit. Like I said on our last card there, things are kind of stagnant. So new ideas for you, for things to do alone, or new ideas for things for you to do as a couple. You may need to take a fresh look at this relationship that we're still grieving as well. And like address why we are grieving this relationship, what happened, what's making us feel that way. The Ace of Wands is an opportunity for newness. So this could be a new opportunity to heal or move on from some of the feelings that we're still feeling there. The next card that we have is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is very studious, very hardworking. And it's always a little bit of work, of course, to self-assure ourselves, but it will be worthwhile. This is almost like learning when you need reassurance too and when you don't, Libra. That's a weird message, but it's coming through there. With the Page of Cups, this could also be new love. So there could be some new relationships for some of you. And at the bottom here, we have the Empress. The Empress is a card of creation and abundance. And this is such a good reminder that you can create whatever you want in terms of love and relationship. And you can have this abundance of self-love and this abundance of unconditional love. Again, we have the ability to create that for ourselves. It's what we're working towards creating here. The Empress is also a card of pregnancy and fertility, so definitely some of you could be finding out that you're pregnant or are expecting. Now moving on to our fifth and final column. This is going to be a message from our future self or spirit guide, something to carry into the end of the month with you. We have the card Revision. Revision is about like changing up our plan or changing up our perspective. I like the Revision card because this is a good reminder that it's okay to change our mind. It's okay to change your opinion. It's okay to change your perspective. Like just because you once thought one way or felt one way or acted one way, this is almost like permission that you can revise and change. But let's see what other messages we have here for you, Libra. The first card that we have is the Magician. The Magician is a card of turning your visions into reality. It's interesting, this kind of ties nicely into revision too, because what you wanted 10 years ago and what you want now may or may not be the same thing, Libra. But it's now like updating your vision, updating your focus. But in order for the Magician to deliver, we have to be clear on what we want. So revise your plan and get clear on what you want. The next card that we have is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords has a lot of different meanings, but one of the meanings is like truth and finding out information. And it's finding out the information to then revise and make sure we are clear on what we want. And the Judgment card here at the bottom, another card with a lot of different meanings, but clarity is going to be the big one. So again, gaining clarity, finding out information, and then being able to focus on what we want so the Magician can deliver. Let's clarify out this last column here for you. At the top, we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands, I feel like some of you could be feeling a little lost. You could be so busy that you haven't had time to think about this. But again, we need to be clear about what we want. We can't have too many things going on. We can't have too many priorities. We can't have too many things fighting for our attention. So don't hesitate to put down some of the wands this month. Take a step back. And again, this is an opportunity to revise and refocus. The next card that we have is the Eight of Pentacles. Again, this is just a reflection of the hard work and the work that you've put into this point. But this is ever growing. Think of this as kind of like building blocks. As we've learned this lesson, we've completed this, and then it builds on the next thing and the next and the next. So there is no hard work lost here. You can revise and still be in this higher position that you were because all of your previous hard work. But then it's once we've gotten to a point we've worked hard for, we can reflect, revise, and adjust. So again, no hard work lost, just a continuation of growth and a continuation of what we want. At the bottom here, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a card of being very honest. So again, this is being clear on what we want and communicating what we want so the Magician can help deliver there. Okay, Libra, at this time I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use our Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, the 5 of clubs, this is number 33 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2, we have the King of Diamonds. This is number 15 card. That's going to be a yes. And question number 3 is the 4 of clubs, which is number 4 card. That's also a yes. So yes, yes, yes for you, Libra. That looks great. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at your crystal of the month. If you watched your video earlier this month, we did pull a card from that Healing Stones deck. Your crystal this month is lapis, which is good for truthfulness and presence. It's all about learning your truth and being able to express your truth. And lots of dignity associated with lapis as well. And then last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Goodness, I keep dropping stuff. And this is just going to be a note for you to end on. We can always use more healing, so I like to throw this in there. But your healing note this month says, to be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You only need to accept yourself. Thank you so much, Libra, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly to grow my channel, and you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, if you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you so much, Libra, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your October.